Yes.
Is that you?
It is. It's me. I'm under stairs now. I'm under stairs this week.
You can't take my spot. I'm the stair guy.
He's the stair master.
I'm the stair man. Not the stair man. That sounds a bit dirty. I'm the stair man. I stare at your underwear. Oh, no, it's gone clearly.
No, he's gone worse. He only stares at primary schools. It's fine. Which, just to clarify, is completely untrue. Completely untrue.
Get hold of that information. Oh, I threw. Oh,
you really haven't. You really haven't.
On my screen, I was just like... I was like, that needs to go. That needs to go immediately. Oh. Is that...
Do you see my lights? Yeah, I think... I've definitely... This house is clean. No, in case it wasn't obvious, guys, we are in a different setup this week. So I'm trying out my mobile streaming, podcasting... I don't know what this is. What's going on here? Am I doing some sort of kung fu or what? What's happening? I'm trying out the mobile streaming kit software by travelling all the way to my bedroom. So yeah, I figured give it a trial run, and it's. I think as far as we're concerned, pushing it too far, too fast. I mean, you saw what happened with the ice bath.
There's no such thing as pushing too far, too fast. It's just we get pushed over, and we are filmed trying to get up.
Exactly. So we are using. We are using this primarily to test out the software. So if you're joining us live, brace yourself because there might be a few hiccups. There might be a few things that happen. There might be a few flickery lights and whatnot. I'm currently sat on a drum throne, and it might be the most uncomfortable thing I've ever sat on for this period of time. No. What is that?
So halfway through, when we cut to a break, it's just going to be you going, and welcome back to the second half. Just a bit of air drumming.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm forever air. Like when the countdown's on, I'm always like the whole time. Good evening. Facebook user. I don't know who it is. You have to click on something for me to be able to see that. But great. I'm glad it looks and sounds awesome. Good evening to Craig. Hope everyone's keeping well, not just Craig. I hope everyone's awesome and loving life because today is a momentous day. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Which old witch? The one that's in charge of our fucking country. That's who. Hey!
I mean, she's not dead as you.
No.
Not like dead.
No.
Q, sort of like,
just her career. just her career.
Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams for being sort of what is it? Is the word inducted into a Hall of Fame? Is that the word I need?
Possibly, yeah. She's been inducted into the Deductionist podcast.
Yeah. No. I meant like I think that's an actual word. I'm not referring to the induction, the chain of reasoning that way. Charles Sanders Peirce would be turning over in his grave if I was a likening Liz Truss to that fucking nonsense. However, yes, Miss Riffraff rightly pointing out, for those of our listeners who are tuning in from overseas, our Prime Minister has resigned today. Now, I've been sort of laying off a body language analysis in full. It's been requested a lot, but I've been laying it off purely because it's just it's nonsense of the highest order. It's ridiculous.
No one should have the permission of Prime Minister anymore. It should just be a bucket and a mop with a pair of glasses or goggles mounted on top of it. And every now and then we approach the room which has this Prime Minister in. But there shouldn't be a physical person anymore. There's no
I
point.
love it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You should try out other acting work.
And as Miss Riffraff points out as well, I don't know which paper it was in, by the way, but one of the papers was running like a betting syndicate on which do you think would last longer, a lettuce or Liz Truss. and the lettuce has won.
Truss.
The lettuce has won. That's it. We are the global equivalent of rotting salad. That's what we are at the minute. We are.
Oh, dear. That salad you put to one side of your plate.
Yeah, that's the healthy section on a kebab or a takeaway on the night home when you're drunk. Yeah,
the bits fall into the paper that then get screwed up and put in the bin.
Absolutely, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that you throw at the poor people. That's what the Tories do. You throw it at the poor people.
Or you throw the Liz Trusses at the lettuce.
Oh, there was a cringy sentence. You know how they send all. I'll be honest. Since she took into power, and I saw one of her interviews, I started watching more and more of the Tories trying to defend what it was that she was doing. Initially, it was from a curiosity standpoint to see how people might sort of inhibit that much anxiety and inhibit that much kind of fear. Like after a week, I was watching it purely for the lols because it's some of the funniest shit I've seen in quite some time. Like after she did this speech at the Tory party conference, one of the guys came out on BBC. Well, he didn't come out on BBC News. He's married, so you know if he came out on BBC News, that'd be that'd be more of a thing. But he was like, I think you'll find that when the going gets tough, the Truss gets going, and you're like, oh God, that's the cringiest thing you've ever heard, Unless he knew at that stage it was literally when the going gets tough, Truss fucks off. That's what it was. She is gone.
Yeah, fucking hell. I was on the way home today and listened to the radio, and I forget who was interviewing, but he was grabbing a load of people from Parliament and the Tory party, and it just started with, "What's your reaction to the resignation of Truss?" Good. What's your reaction to the resignation of Liz Truss? Thank God. What's your reaction to the resignation of Liz Truss? It's like, it's unfortunate that she didn't get a chance to be the Prime Minister. You unite the party and unite England, but now I think we have an opportunity to bring someone in that can do that. Name someone who can do that. And then it just cut off.
Well, like to that end, now there's people on within that party trying to promote the hashtag "Bring Back Boris."
Yeah, he's on holiday at the moment, but we'll get him on the phone.
Can you imagine? Bozzer, you've run out of cheese and Guinness, mate.
Just
that wasn't Adam, by the way. That was a soundbite that we took from an interview with Boris. That's his actual noise. That wasn't Adam. He was just doing the movements that he actually did at the time. So Iago spot on. Let me see if I can bring it on the screen this way around. Yeah. There it is. Feels like we're officially in Black Mirror. Not as fun as I thought it'd be. Abso-flipping-lutely. Because, like, get this, and again, right, put as much credibility in this as you want, because it was one internet article that I saw. So, it should be... I'm not highlighting this as fact at all, bear in mind, right? I'm highlighting this for the state of 22, that 2022 that I entertained it for a second that this was occurring, before my critical mind sort of went, hold up, you're on the internet. This could be bollocks.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah. So apparently, some airlines in Australia are now not allowing you to fly if you are vaccinated.
Now this is just crazy. But like when you told me this, I genuinely thought you were taking the piss. I just thought like, oh, this isn't a real airline. Like, oh, these really are airlines. Like,
yeah,
what's become of this whole situation now? What's actually happening anymore?
I think it's like Black Mirror for me is hit it on the head, because there was kind of all that back and forth about, is it really sort of conspiratorial? Are the media in on it? Is there this? Are we being played? And then you see headlines like this and you go, yes we are.
Yeah. Shit.
I said a few months ago, the sooner we make peace with the fact that we're all fucked, the more content we will be.
Yeah, that's it.
Not happy by any stretch of the imagination.
We'll have less questions to ask and less answers to find. That's all going on in the head.
Absolutely.
It's
but like,
simple way to go out.
Apparently, it's they're not allowing you to fly if you are now vaccinated, because there is a risk of stroke. There is a risk of stroke,
right?
Which there is a risk of flying anyway. A very slim risk, very slim, but there is,
I was going to say, it doesn't have, like they say, if you suffer from strokes, it has a significant effect on blood pressure or what have you. What goes on?
Well, that's the thing, DVTs, throwing clots, all manner of stuff that can happen. But I just thought it was funny that I kind of went, oh yeah, 2020. Wait a minute, wait. I kind of accepted it for a moment, like, well, of course they're doing that now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm waiting for like the next. I mean, and this should highlight why we didn't want to do this body language thing on Liz Truss, because it's a fucking comedy of errors, right? It's a comedy. It's a comedy of errors. So
it's not the normal situational kind of observation, is it? Because it's so ridiculous now that this sort of stuff you will not see in another situation other than something like this. Yeah. So where do we go with that?
No, we've fast become the international equivalent of a skateboarding otter. That's pretty much the thing. That's what we are now. So yeah, that's why we didn't want to do this, because it's just nonsensical. But on the flip side, it does present a challenge of sorts to maintain the distinctly rational, observational view of what's happening, and not let the nonsense of her belief in what she's saying affect it one way or the other. But it's fast becoming what I'm expecting next. The next prime minister they announce for however many hours that poor sod's in power, it's going to be done by tombola, I think. Tombola. Now, for those of you that didn't grow up in the UK, you might not know what a tombola is, but it was basically a big metal drum, not of the Dharma kind. Bear in mind, it was just basically a big metal with a handle on. And lots of usually wooden balls inside. Yeah. And they would sort of roll it round, lift the lid in, and literally draw a name and number out. That's how we're going to have the next prime minister. That's pretty much the only way it could happen.
Go the full old UK Lottery 90s show kind of way. Get fucking Mystic Megan. Sit her down in the chair. We'll be brilliant. I was about to say Dale Winton at first, but now he's very fucking dead.
Dale Winton?
Yeah, he's long gone, more so than...
I was going to say, I think Dale Winton's dead.
Yeah. One
I
of
mean,
them
I'd
was
argue
them.
he'd probably do a better job anyway.
Yeah, but yeah. Dig him up.
Yeah, just
Right.
reanimate him.
Yeah.
So, with that, I shall tell you about the video that we have for you. It's a sort of a collection of moments from her
It's just like a Army video.
TV
But for
interview. It may well be. It may well be, mate. Like at this stage, nothing shocks me. Nothing.
yeah. Welcome to the next episode of Jackass. Govass. That's what this.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm running for Prime Minister of Great Britain. Of course you are, mate. Of course you are.
We're actually doing a better job.
So yeah, I mean, I'll post a link to the video in the description as well. But if you want it, it's Politics Joe, and this is the thing. When you are reading best bits of Liz Truss's car crash Laura Kay interview, that has the possibility to try and colour your perception of precisely what it is that you're going to see. Right? This is one of those things. Again, this is part and parcel of the reason why I didn't want to do this, because it's a joke video. This is the same kind of. What was that, mate? Sorry, this cut out for me.
It actually is, isn't it? Because it's like it's almost sort of throwing away the notion of how we usually go about these videos of looking into certain things and what have you. But with the amount of layered shit on top of her answers, it's just kind of like, where do you begin? Where do you unravel?
You can't. You just can't do it. So I'm just checking to see if you can see my cursor on. Yes, you can. This is a great setup. You can see my cursor on the screen. This is brilliant.
Although that building looks a bit pixelated.
Yeah, well, that's just probably because I'm full screening a video. If you want to get on about the quality of this video that we're looking at rather than our cameras, then by all means.
I'm also having a go at their architecture.
Yeah, I genuinely thought you meant the video then, so that's just yeah, I got it now. I got it. The pennies hit the deck. The pennies hit the deck. This is when a man in a gorilla suit walks past and waves at the screen, and then Richard Wiseman turns up and goes, "Did you see the gorilla? Did you see him?"
That'd be a more normal video of what's actually about to occur.
Probably. So I can pop that back up. There we go. Okay, right. So let's do this. So what we can see from the get-go is two very different emotive situations, right? One who's moved in her chair to face the person that she's talking to, right? And I'm not stepping into the whole kind of BuzzFeed angle of legs pointing towards this person or pointing towards the exit and whatnot. There is a courtesy towards looking at who you're talking to with the completeness of your body, right? The chair isn't fixed to the ground. It might be heavy. She might not want to move it, but either way, she has moved in her chair to allow that, and when I say the she here, I mean Liz, to start this conversation. Laura, who I'm presuming is Laura Kay, has done quite the opposite. Not only has there been no attempt to move the chair because you can't see any crease lines on the floor, she's keeping the full remit of her body away from her and looking at her like she's just cut a really bad fart. Was that you?
That is the face I bought.
Right? Was that you? God.
Of myself in the mirror. I did it again.
But what I want to know, like, we are, what is it, 4 seconds here. This is not anything straight in. We've not watched any of the video yet, so I want to know, is her left hand, are these thumbs going to be linked towards self-soothing gestures, because this is a normal political kind of movement that we see. David Cameron did this a lot. Barack Obama did this a lot. This kind of thumb on top idea.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to know if Laura Kay starts doing these kind of motions to really kind of sort of dissipate almost the growing tension that she clearly feels. I mean, look at how tense that jaw is. You can see that it sort of goes in. Oh, I can show you. You can see that it sort of goes in here in the shadow. That's the muscle. She's biting her teeth almost there, right? So there is tension going on. So she already feels a certain way about the going gets tough, the Truss gets going. Oh dear, I can't. It's just
It's too much.
yeah.
It's too much.
It's just too much. It's too. Anyway, let's begin.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Oh, there we go. We'll need some context there. Let's rewind.
How many people voted for your plan?
There it is. You see it there the whole time. She's not holding a pen, so there's no reason to be doing that. There's the tension.
Yeah.
How many people voted for your plan? Nostrils are flared, jaw is tense, lips are pursed. That's a question asking, like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you sit there? How many people voted for your plan, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to say to you, dude, like, let's put it into context. And say, I don't know, what's appropriate for us. Oh, well, to be fair, nothing's appropriate for us.
You've met us.
Yeah, I got it. If I were to say, how many comic books have you read in your life?
1,000.
1,000, right? But that's the thing. You think you don't know. You've not really been keeping track. There's not a journal anywhere, but still, you attempt to quantify it. You attempt to quantify it. Look at the pause and the hand that's coming out here. This, we could argue at this stage, we have no further context about it, but we can argue that this is moving into the stages of a gestural emblem, the stop motion. We could argue that, but we haven't seen it move yet, so we don't know that at this stage. So, if this is as car crash as what it's supposed to be, then it's going to go past the what do you mean by that, and she's not really going to answer the question. She's not going to put a number on it. She's going to duck, dive, and dodge. Now, what is it? The 5Ds of dodgeball: dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. That's what she's going to do to all of the questions where specifics are required.
Those are the names of the rest of her cabinet.
That. I know. I think Dodge was Bojo when he dodged a heftier prison sentence for breaking the law. I mean, how can you be that much of a dumbass that you make the law and then you break it?
Yeah, like wow. Anyway, it's got to be. Yeah. We'll crack on.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. There's too many clowns. There's too many clowns. I don't want to look at. I don't want to look at British politics anymore. Let's stop the stream. Game over. I'm not doing it.
To put it this way, if Boris Johnson was Darth Vader, he would then blow up his own Death Star, which he then built. Create the Empire, kill the Jedi, make the Death Star, blow up the Death Star, save everyone.
He'd press the big red button on the Death Star, but forget to take the kind of lens cap off, so it'd backfire. Anyway, bugger. Here we go.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Well, you've set out a significant change of direction from the Conservative government that you were being part of for many, many years. But how many people voted for you to do that?
Well, people in 2019 who voted Conservative voted for a successful country where we are levelling up all parts of the country and where we're driving growth, enterprise and opportunity. Now,
so what you get there... Oh, go on, sorry. What were you going to say?
She's a right nodder. When she's sort of even when you can tell she doesn't disagree with everything Laura's just said, yeah.
Yeah.
Why say yeah when you're about to say no?
But you can hear the tension in her voice. You can hear it, and it kind of peaks when she has to catch her breath as well. So if we just go, I don't know exactly the time, but that is probably after there. So if we go back to about here and just listen again and watch the tension in her breathing get to such a point where she kind of has to catch herself.
Who voted Conservative, voted for a
There it
successful
is.
country where we are levelling up all parts of the country and where
Did you
we're
see this go?
driving growth, enterprise and opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, any government...
It's like she's again, a rather rough analogy, but it's like she's stifling... Exactly, it's like she's stifling a burp. She keeps...
Someone needs to edit in it.
That clip
Truss?
from the oh god, what was that song called? The Magnum Anus. The Magnum Anus. Yeah. So some guy farted and made it into a classical overture. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Oh, I'll get that up.
And it was much better than her government. But what we've got here is the rising tension in relation to words that you're saying. Now, this is when your reasoning tactics come in, right? Why become tenser and more anxious the more that you talk, unless what you're talking about is making you more and more anxious, right? Now, anxiety has sort of the stigma of negativity. It doesn't have to be that. Anxiety is kind of a buzzword, if nothing more, right? If you think about the quintessential quiet guy who... I'll use a metaphor. If you think about one of the guys, like it is the characters, one of the guys from The Big Bang Theory, if they were to go up to a woman at a bar, their anxiety would grow higher and higher and higher and higher the more that they spoke, because they're leaning into that. It's coming from positive sides, but they are speaking towards a situation that's happening right then and there that makes them anxious. She's speaking about things that have happened. She's speaking about things that have gone by. The question that Laura asked was about things that have happened, things that have gone by. Why would they make you anxious unless you were trying to dodge specific points, unless you were trying to talk your way into positivity when you know yourself you've got nothing? You've got nothing.
Do you realise you just sat on the nuclear bomb button and it's about to land on the UK any second? Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That was not the fault of the Tory government. Vladimir Putin's war in the Ukraine. Shut the fuck up, Liz. Jesus Christ. Shut up.
Just be quiet.
Miss Riffraff. That was Loz's 7-tone fart. It was brilliant. It was. But, and again, we're 30 seconds in. We've covered a lot of behavioural stuff, but there's a lot of ranting as well. And again, another reason why we didn't want to pick this apart. So let's keep going.
Government has to deal with the circumstances it faces. And we face this situation of, which was unforeseen, huge energy costs, rising inflation due to the war in Ukraine and the aftermath of COVID.
But you know
we
very
are
well, Prime Minister, that a small
delivering.
number of people in the Conservative Party, tens of thousands rather than the whole country, voted for you in the leadership contest, perfectly legitimately. But do you fear that you have put the country on a path that it didn't ask for, because you believe very strongly that it will lead to growth?
Like Liz is full on while she can't even look at it.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. I would need to watch some more of her interviews to have a more grounded analysis of whether or not this is just something that she does when she asks questions, right? So that's the kind of thing that we have to review moving forward, but within context, knowing what we know about her position in the chair, about the tension she's having in her muscles, about the kind of dissipated energy with the self-soothing that's happening in those moments.
Yeah,
I don't like. I can't see it being anything else other than quite rightly, stopping under the kind of impression that that's where she'd jump in. If you've ever had an argument like with Becky or anyone else that you've been in a relationship with of any kind, friendship, family, whatever, if you've ever had an argument with them, and you know that there is a particular topic coming up that is a hot button for them. You try and kind of talk your way faster through it. You try and kind of like I get it, and then we'll get on to the points that might kind of make it more easier to navigate. That kind of thing. That's what these things are. So, but you can still see the nostrils are flared from the engagement of the shadow here, right? From the engagement of the shadow, you don't get that unless the lighting itself is particularly high in the studio, which it might be. Low lighting to create that kind of shadow on the nostrils. Excuse me.
Looks well lit though from the front, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Well,
it does. Yeah, I mean, you can see the position of one of the lights on her forehead. I would imagine that's by virtue of the kind of makeup that she's wearing that we get that kind of gleam. But let's play the lines of reasoning, right? You've worked on film sets and you've done like the degrees in the area, right? What is the likelihood of there just being one erroneous light above head height and the rest kind of low down?
Yeah, very unlikely, isn't it?
It's very unlikely. So we can use that as an observation to bolster our understanding of what our nostrils are doing in relation to flaring activity, which we know is connected to tension, which we know is connected to anxiety, which we know is connected to negativity, all of which she is contextually, forcibly not throwing towards Liz, because she clearly feels quite strongly about the issues that she's talking about. And like that's brilliant. Like how do you ask a question that requires a number and relate that to a war?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How do you make that human connection?
Let's explore the logic of this, right? I'm going to ask you that same question I asked you before. See if you can connect it to World War II, right? So, Adam, how many comic books do you think you've read in your life?
Probably enough that if I turn them into years and went back, I'd end up in World War II.
Right? It's friggin' ridiculous! It's ridiculous!
Down a real stupid rabbit hole to get there.
But that's the thing! The two aren't connected whatsoever. Like she used fear-mongering tactics with the energy bills and people paying it as a result of pinning the blame over here, blah, 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 which is fine, right? Yeah. Laura asked for how many people voted for this, right? Would it have been much more reputable for her to go, not many, but I believe this is the right movement for our country because of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. You move on sort of smoothly then, don't you? You're answering the question, but also saying what you want to say within it in a political manner, as you would expect from one.
You got it. And politicians, they're almost infamous for not being straight when asked a question. Well, with the exception of one old guy, I think his name was Dennis Skinner. I'm not 100% sure. My mum showed me a video of him years ago, and he was kind of infamous for getting up in the House of Commons and having his say. And like Mr. Speaker would be like, "Well, you need to withdraw that because of whatever." Dennis would go, No, I'm not withdrawing it. You got to throw me out. That'll do. Like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. That's the kind of directness we're missing from politics, right?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. It's too much dodging, and I understand dodging within the career itself. You're probably taught to do it, but it shouldn't be taught. It shouldn't be in a government like that. Like, you're running for the people at the end of the day. Why the fuck would we want to dodge the truth?
Let's keep going.
Finally, what happens if it doesn't work?
Oh, did you see if I'll try and pause it there. Did you see a face?
That was very unhidden, sort of blatant.
Finally, what happens?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It almost looks like she's about to spit on it.
I hope she does. I hope she does. Yeah. When she's getting into a car park from below, just
right, gobby one.
Yeah, right on the roof of her lovely gold-plated Beamer. Anyway, let's go back into it. Let's see the follow-through on the response.
What happens if it doesn't work?
Well, what people voted for in 2019, when they voted for Conservative, sometimes for the first time in many years, is they voted for a different future. They voted for investment into their towns and cities. They voted for higher wages. They voted for economic growth. And that is what our plan will deliver.
Are you at?
What? Let me hear the question again. What was the question again?
Do you fear that you have put the country on a path that it didn't ask for, because you believe very strongly that it will lead to growth? Finally, what happens if it doesn't work?
Well, what people voted for in 2019, when they voted for Conservative, sometimes for the first time in many years, is they voted for a different future. They voted for investment into their towns and cities. They voted for higher wages. They voted for economic growth. And that is what our plan will deliver.
No. No, Liz. That's not... That's a great answer for a question we didn't ask. So... Maybe she's answering these all out of order. And, it's a very genius way of we have to piece it all together. No, of course it's not going to be that. She's a fucking moron, isn't she? Jesus Christ. I mean, there's dodging, there's a question, and then just blatantly just not acknowledging and making up a completely different question in your mind. She's like she's answering a buzzword.
Wow.
She said something about work. Yes. What the public want is for our plan to work. Yeah, but what if it doesn't work? Yeah, but they want it to work, but what if it doesn't work? Yeah, so we're looking for it to work. Liz, get out. Get out of this building.
Liz, whatever you're taking, you need to share it. Right?
Yeah.
You need to share it. That's some good shit. So, what if it doesn't work? Well, in 2019, I tried this recipe once before. It didn't rise in the oven, so I threw it in the bin. And then I put the ingredients in that people wanted. The ingredient. What? I'm sorry. What did you say? What are you doing, Liz? Oh God! It's like somebody's sort of sat, an unfortunate soul with Alzheimer's down, and they're just talking. They're just talking.
She's one of those muppets that is just sort of sat there, but the guy that is operating her has gone for a quick piss. And someone else who's been nearby has quickly sort of shoved a hand up and just tried to mouth something back.
Oh dear, it's Trump trying to claw his way back in. I'll get the red button, man. I'll get the red button.
You just squeeze his mouth open as Boris Johnson comes through the hole. We're looking to that way.
But it backs up something that we said in a previous Liz Truss video about her eyebrows relative to engagement of that which she feels positively about. Right, she saw an opportunity to tout the growth of the Tory parties. Many for the first time voting, right? Fair enough, right? But that's just proof. Like in terms of verbal content, when you correlate the statement analysis of the aspect, it's just proof that there is not only a huge ego that we're dealing with, huge ego, but it kind of comes with that disillusioned view of what's happening. And I'm going to stretch it a bit further, enter into a little reductio ad absurdum, but it's like when you put those kind of egos in the incels going up to women at bars and they say, "Hey, you, get your coat, you've pulled," and the women go, "Fuck off," and they go, "Yeah, great, yeah, fabulous, wow, lovely, thanks for talking to me," and walk away.
Cool.
What do you like? Is there no connection between this planet and the one that you are orbiting? You fucking lunatic.
Are you absolutely committed to abolishing the 45 pence tax rate for the wealthiest people in the country?
Yes.
You've nodded early.
And it is part, Laura.
Look at that as well. How simple is that to answer a question that she feels congruently about? Are you absolutely committed to abolishing this? Yes. But Laura, don't ask me anything else. Let me say something else. And she's returned fire with the stopping. Stop. Let me say something more to make me feel better. She's probably going to go on here to talk about her actions and her activities and what she's done. Or she, by extension, the party that she runs and therefore the country. Let's have a look.
It is part of an overall package of making our tax system simpler and lower. But I think it's worth noting, in the package we announced, the vast majority of that package is the energy package.
And we've talked a lot about that, but
it's the energy package, it's national insurance. The 45p rate actually raises very little and makes our tax system more complicated. And we need to move away. We need to move away from the idea that everything is about how we redistribute resources. We also need to make sure we have got a tax system that's
she's not letting her in,
and it's helping us bring in the investment,
people
into work,
coming down,
and you've
get
made that very
people
clear
wanting
that getting the
to
economy
get up
going
the
is
career
your
ladder.
priority. You've made that very clear. Can I ask you, Prime Minister?
My God, it's like she sort of had a set script that she had to reel off. She didn't know where it could fit in within this interview, but she had to find a point, a question. Where you would say, remember, like someone said to me beforehand, Liz, you've got to say this part. Whatever you do, say this part. So look for anything, look for any gap in the interview. And that's where the answer went up. And like, also, I got to say this shit.
But she tried. But there is a degree of unspoken awareness between the two. Liz knows that she's facing negativity, and Laura knows that Liz knows that at this stage because they're borrowing displays from each other. Which you did perfectly legitimately, which you did it. And then Liz is trying it now. Liz is trying it. So Laura had to take it back and just talk over it until she shut the fuck up. Right? And that's the thing. When you allow an ego of any description enough time to indulge their own view, they'll keep going, and they'll keep going, and they'll keep going, and they'll keep going, and they'll keep going. I'm using it to highlight a point, Adam. Join in. And they'll keep going, and they'll keep going.
Oh my God. He's fallen under the spell.
I've hypnotized him with my slowly moving finger.
What is it, the thumbs that break the spell? I don't know. Help me. My God, though. I mean,
listen,
that is
right.
Sorry.
No, carry on, mate. Carry on. I was just gonna make another point, but carry on, please.
Usually, the titles of these things are much more dramatic than the interview themselves or the video itself. This is very apt for what is actually the visual and audible content of this video, isn't it? It's more than the title. Car crash doesn't do it justice. fucking tsunami does it more justice. It's the Snyder cut of terrible interview.
Like, there was this is Snyder's plans for Batman that he never got to bring to fruition. Do you remember reading that article years ago where he was talking about sending Batman to prison and getting him involved in prison rape?
Yeah, a dark Batman. Yeah, that's that, isn't it? Yeah, this is when Snyder went too dark. This is when Truss.
This is when Truss has gone off the frigging rails.
Yeah, but DC will not be happy with this.
No.
Oh, this is real. This is a real thing. This isn't. Oh, okay.
Oh no, this is real life. This is
Shit.
yeah, this is tragic. Is what it
really is.
Let's keep going.
Did you discuss scrapping the top rate with your whole cabinet?
No. No, we didn't. It was a decision that.
Again, how simple is that to answer a question?
Mm.
Did you discuss it? No.
Okay. No.
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 Next question. No.
Yeah. But
yeah. It's like if I said to you, Adam, will you be watching Enola Holmes too?
No.
So you see?
I'm going
What
to
are you
anyway.
saying? Well, we've got to review it for the podcast. We have got to.
We have got.
Yeah, we should try and sort of arrange some kind of watch, but we'll talk about that afterwards. I'm trying to find a comfortable way of being sat on this stool. Nobody judge the fact that I'm wearing Star Wars pajamas, please.
This is not your platform.
Get away, Lucas. Anyway, let's keep going.
The Chancellor made.
Do you think that is the right way to go about developing what has become a very controversial policy? You say it doesn't cost that much money.
The tension.
But it's a big decision, isn't it?
Tension and the pre-swallow behaviour. It's a big decision. Oh shit! Here we go. Did you see it move before? Let's watch it again.
That brow and that gullet.
The Chancellor made.
Yeah.
Do you think that is the right way to go about developing what has become a very controversial policy? You say it doesn't cost that much money, but it's a big decision, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
If you'd been in Boris Johnson's cabinet and he had announced something like that without asking you, how would you have felt?
We have committed, and I committed during the leadership campaign.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Hang on.
We have committed ourselves to the bin.
Oh, mate, I'm sweating now. Thanks for that. Thank you. That was great. That was a great line. Brilliant. Loved it. Love it. Oh, this is great. Like, this is that moment where she started to go, uh-oh. And the kind of confidence has dropped low enough that the ego's gone,
yeah,
you know, like, uh-oh, here we go.
This, the old Homer sort of stress mark from The Simpsons.
I really hurt doing that. Oh, I'm too old for this shit. Good evening, Hen. Just call me Hen's just joined us. Good evening.
Welcome.
This is pull up a chair, pull up some tissues, to cry, nothing else. And we're having a great old time.
What would this be? Would this be Empire Strikes Back? Would this be Return of the Jedi? Where would we fall with it? Is this the end of the Empire? The fall of Liz Truss?
I don't know. I think is this not Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, maybe Laura Kay's about to zap her with a load of electricity and she'll fucking horribly deform into Sidious.
This stream's fast becoming how many Star Wars analogies can we cram into it? And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's keep it going.
Oh, God.
To make our system more competitive, to lower our taxes and to simplify our taxes. And I think that's fundamentally important. Now, when budgets are developed, they are developed in a very confidential way.
Can you hear the way the breathing has shifted her voice to such a stage where she's having to forcibly labour it because her confidence has dropped that far that she's having to forcibly kind of take control a little bit of what she's saying, a little bit more. And it's kind of at the moment before, it gets out of control. She's doing a wonderful job at holding on to it. She's not blinked in long enough. You can tell that her eyes are becoming quite glassy, which happens when you. It happens. It happens when you're experiencing a degree of anxiety, when you can still brink at a regular pace, but when your anxiety is keeping up, you need to increase that more because everything internally is getting more and more, and your blink rate needs to come along with it. So when it doesn't, I'm not going to bore you with the details of what the lacrimal glands happen, but suffice it to say, there is a glassiness as a result that you need to re-moisten to get rid of. There we go.
Is she just...
What was that, mate? Sorry?
Is she just about to shatter into dust?
Yeah. I think that's pretty much what's happened. She's at that stage, where the guy in Indiana Jones has just drank from the goblet, and the knight's gone, "You have chose." That's the stage that she's at now. You have chose. I've chose poorly. Fuck.
Oh dear. Down she goes.
Exactly. What's Hen got to say? The joys of the shambles of our government, but it could still get worse. Apparently they want to bring back the floppy-haired buffoon. Well, that is true, but as Adam has established, Dale Winton is dead. So they can't bring him back. They can't.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant. Oh, that's a good connection.
That's a callback. That's a callback to earlier.
We did.
If Hen is just commenting but been here the whole time, she'll understand it. If she's just joined us, she'll have no idea what we're talking about. And you have to kind of watch. You have to watch the first 10 minutes when this kind of renders and all of that kind of caper. But let's see if her breathing and voice take different tonal shifts to mark the confidence, because what can happen if the topics change to something that she feels more confidently about, that will give her the port in the storm that she needs to recuperate on a behavioural level.
They're very market sensitive. Of course, the cabinet is briefed, but it's never the case on budgets that they are something that is created by the whole cabinet. The principles, though, are extremely clear. What the government is trying to avoid is a serious economic slowdown that would have real difficulties for people. Now, I did want to answer your question, Laura, that you asked me about, the direct impact of the issues we've seen this week. So I'm afraid there is an issue that interest rates are going up around the world, and we do have to face that, and we do have to do that. But I do want to say to people, I understand their worries about what has happened this week.
She confidently stumbled. But
I mean, okay, so let's deal with the actual analysis sides of it before we get into our kind of personal opinions about the whole affair.
Okay.
Make no mistake. Yeah, make no mistake that this is obviously a best bits interview because it says there in the middle, right? So there's parts of context and parts of the analysis that will be cut out. So when we come to some kind of a conclusion here, we can only do this based on the linear kind of presentation that we've been given, right? That we've been given. So you've cut together a best bits kind of thing. I've cut together a best bits kind of thing. You do that in order. You don't cut a best bit from 40 minutes and then a best bit from here and then a best bit from here and then a best bit from here and then make it back and forth. You kind of do best bits in a line as you go. So we're missing out part of the cause and effect. We've got dominoes standing up, but we've just got parts of the domino line blocked. So we assume, which is the word, rightly or wrongly, that the conversation has continued enough to bring about these kind of changes, but by virtue of the fact that we haven't been able to see it, we simply don't know at this stage.
I think it's fair to say, as an edit itself, it is engineered for a certain perspective, a certain personal perspective.
It's like the Cliff Notes version. Right? It's like the Cliff Notes version, like with the Cliff Notes of Star Wars, parental distress, incestual byplay, on my hand, there's a teddy bear, the end.
Yeah.
Right? All done. Game over. But so what we're seeing here in a change from Liz is what's known as is an asymmetrical shift. Before, when she's moved forward to stop authentically. More conversation, more points, more questions. She's moved forward this way. What would make sense from a congruous perspective, when you look at the thermodynamics of behavior, in a nutshell, we move to continue our longevity, our normalcy, our happiness, our comfort, and the like. So if I'm sitting like this, like this way to you, to do this and point at you, to point at something over there, it isn't comfortable, isn't normal, doesn't make sense unless this arm is doing something else. Which, let's face it, if it's out of screen, it could be doing anything. However, what would make more sense is for me to point to that over there, right? That's more open, that's more free, that's congruous towards my sentiments of calm, of comfort, of authenticity. So when you're seeing this slight kind of physical disfluency in the movement, we know we've got a bigger upset internally on our hands in those moments. Now, verbally, what she's doing is she's backtracking from topic to topic. Her voice is going all over the shop. This is fear. This is lack of confidence. This is the moment. This is the proverbial captain stood on top of a boat who knows she's about to be shot to shit.
Oh, God. This is the guy in the Titanic as it goes down. Yeah. And the water goes up into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's... what's his name? Who runs the East India Trading Company in Pirates 2 and 3?
Oh, Beckett.
At the end of 3, Beckett. Thank you. Yeah. It's just good business. It's not good business, Liz. You've. Oh, what did Cable say in Deadpool 2? You've shit us into oblivion. That's what you've done.
You've looked at this and not returned.
That's what you've done.
Yeah.
So we've got slower blinks. She's catching up to the fact that she's not blinked as much because these are catching up now, right? And you'll note if I can pause and then unpause and then repause to try and show you her eyes. They're not as glassy as previous times, right? So that's when the moistening is happening. We're just seeing the reflection. So that's catching up internally. That became, on a non-conscious level, whatever word you want to call it, a moment of discomfort where her body's gone, oh God, we can control this. Oh shit, here we go, right? and it's just falling apart at this stage. So we've got a number. We've got a number of signs that she has. We've got vocal tones. We've got breathing tones. We've got blink markers. We've got asymmetry. We've got gestural emblems. We've got physical disfluencies. We've got thermodynamic inhibition of movement. All of this, when we put it together within context, reveals a great deal about a person in terms of their capability to tell a lie and their competence to tell a lie. Those to me are two very clear things, right? Everyone has a capability to tell the lie, right? Everyone has a capability to tell it, however maximal or minimal you think that is, right? Everyone does it. I've told my kids that Santa Claus is real. If any kids are listening, he's totally real.
You wouldn't do that to me. You wouldn't tell me such horrible things.
Right.
No.
But the competence rather that somebody has to tell that. Yeah, of course Santa's real. You know, he's got his sleigh in at the mechanics and
he's somewhere over there.
Yeah, he's somewhere over the frigging rainbow. That's where he is. So let's do one last view, and then I can't watch any more of her. She's irritating me far too much.
I do stand by the package we announced, and I stand by the fact that we announced it quickly because we had to act. But I do accept we should have laid the ground better. I do accept that.
You accept you should have laid the ground better.
I have learnt from that. I have learnt from that, and I will make sure that in future we do a better job of laying the ground.
What many of your MPs fear is because...
With what?
Look at the retreat. Look at the retreat. We'll stop it there as well. But yes, we've got the disfluency. We've got a physical acceptance of that, which is connected to the discomfort that you have to accept a situation that you can't talk your way out of. Right? That you can't talk your way out of. She's been kind of paled into that situation where she's got to go, you got me. You got me. Right? That's what she's had to do. So now, look at this. The hands have come right the way back, right the way into the stomach, folded round on the top. We've got a lot of washing, a lot of wringing of the hands happening in this particular situation. A lot of slower blinking happening. So these are extended markers on the same, let's use a metaphor, on the same gestural plane, on the same line of reasoning from that particular situation. So we've got a lot of behavioural understanding to review every other video that she said. She does stand by her package that she's that she's put together. Go on, Quasi. She does stand by that, which she took time within the normal pace and speech pattern to highlight. There's this and this and the package, which I do stand by, and this and this and this and this. Right? She was keen to keep those points forward. Right? So, despite everything that's happened, she's still that disillusioned to believe that what she's done is the right thing. Yeah. Is the right thing. Which, when you put that into context, reveals everything about a person. What were you going to say there, mate? Sorry, the sound's catching up again on my side.
Which is it's a terrible tragedy, really, and she clearly needs to be lobotomized. Maybe a bit drastic, but you know.
I, for one, don't disagree with you whatsoever. Whatsoever. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Here we go. Let's go back to the last thing I saw. That was Hen. Miss Riffraff. Someone should show Bozo a fridge and spook him with a news camera so he hibernates during the election.
I read that totally wrong. What did you
read it as?
the news camera so he can hide. he can hide his erection. What?
Well, for the number of illegitimate children he has, he needs to hide his erection, lest there be another one pop out somewhere. Yeah, Craig spotted the left side paralysis as well. Crossing the body, isn't that a sign of trying to protect yourself? Yeah, Craig's jumped in again. Contextually dependent, but with the asymmetrical displays, what it is a sure sign of is discomfort. What it is a sure sign of is further bolstering the analysis of anxiety, of negativity, of deception presenting itself. It is used to protect yourself. You would find with the crossing of the body, it's normally met with hunching of the shoulders to try and hide yourself before you do something underhanded in that particular context, right? You need to make sure that it's not a particular part of your normal behavioral lexicon. Here we go. I like how she's now motioning only with her left hand. Her right side is suddenly frozen. Well, she's probably trying to find the car keys so she can leave without swearing. Without swearing. That's me reading a separate comment. Leave without being spoken to, I'm made to say.
Admiral Riffraff. She's not surprised. Not surprised.
She's used to erections being spoken about in this particular podcast. Of buildings, of erecting of insight, erecting of bookcases, of memory palaces. Nothing. How dare you sully this podcast with such filth, Adam? With such filth.
Gutter cast.
So there we go, guys. That's a brief look into the carnival of Elizabeth Hitler Truss and her behaviours, and her movements. If you've been able to sit through the jokes, the rants, the attempts at humour. She spat wine all over her laptop because of that. Apologies. But it'll make for a very interesting time trying to clean it all back up.
Watch it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a Liz Truss solution. Oh, my laptop's buggered. Well, I just put it in the washing machine because I'm so completely out of touch with reality. Anyway.
Well, to do one of her questions like, why have you spat wine all over your laptop, Liz Truss? What I've done is I've drank a bottle of wine and I enjoyed it. But what?
At what point do you think that Laura Kay in that interview, like sort of in her own head, would go, for fuck's sake?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's what the people wanted. What the people
No,
wanted.
Liz. What the people wanted was for you to be let out in a field and for all of them to be given a crossbow. That's what the people wanted.
I think her and the rest of the Tory cabinet should be kind of dropped in a Hunger Games kind of situation.
So let's turn things to a lighter note. Right? A lighter, which, to be fair, after looking at her behaviours, could be. No, that was far too indulgent for my dark sense of humour. That's not something I'm going to say on the air. I'll tell you after. So you are currently working on something that we are in the process of sending to film festivals and Amazon Prime and whatnot. Is there anything that you can kind of tell us about that? You know, is there anything that you can kind of make us aware of?
Basically,
or whatnot?
Every penis joke we've ever made on this podcast has been collated into a collage of sorts and will be turned into a montage if you will, to be
Can you
played at every
imagine?
festival. Yeah, no,
Can
what
you
we're doing
imagine?
is we're making a film. We're making a film about all our shit we did on the Deductionist web series. Yeah, that's
It's gonna be a film. It's gonna be the best film. We got all the best films. Oh my
the best
god!
thing. We did the things. Well, we came around and we talked. We basically just talked over kind of what we did with the Deductionist web series.
Yes.
What it is that's being made now is kind of it's, I suppose, not a behind the scenes or a look back. It's more so of a explanation of what we did.
It's more of a documentary approach, I would say.
Documentary at what we did, that kind of thing. So it's not necessarily a new instalment of our normal episodic series. It's more so a look at the series as a whole, as the experiment. And anybody that's not aware of what it is or hasn't seen it, this will sum it up. Essentially, this will kind of put together the full picture of what we did, and it's going to be a little film. Going to be a little film.
Yeah.
We're making. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's to be fair, right? It's very different to what we've done before. It's still very much a the Deductionist team production.
Very good. Yeah, it's still very Deductionist team production.
Yeah.
As a nod, I go.
God, I can't believe you got that shot on camera. Wow. Sorry. I shouldn't have said that. We'll cut that out. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
Not Dago 2. I didn't mention the third one. The one we drew a line under.
Yeah, we should have drew a line through it, to be fair.
But we've got a trailer prepped. Trailer should be with you soon. Trailer good. Trailer sort of gives you. It's more so with it. This is a teaser. More
yeah. What we'll do is we'll get like a Marvel baseball cap. I'll be Kevin Feige because I'm bald, and then we'll do it like a D23 presentation, and you can come out, tell us all about it, and then pretend to cry and whatnot. Then we can talk about the quantum realm or something. I don't know.
Pretend to cry.
Whatever.
Harvey Weinstein. Throughout the whole making of this, he inappropriately touched me.
That's it. I'm surprised Liz didn't blame him as well.
No, the public wanted it. That's all right.
How many people voted for it, Liz? Well, you see what it was. Back in 2019, I spoke to a gentleman called Robert Kelly on the phone, and he told me that he believed I could fly. So, what I did...
I made a seal song out of it.
Also, for those of you guys who are members of the network, and if you don't know what the network is, it's a Facebook group full of weirdos and individuals much like us who are obsessed with this way of life. And whatnot. There's games, there's challenges, there's these things go on there, but we play a regular game of I literally just told you. And if you don't know what that is, it's a game show that's on Channel 4 that's presented by Jimmy Carr, and the questions are made up out of the information that they've just spoken about. So they might introduce the contestants and go, this is Just Call Me Hen, and this is Miss Riffraff, and this is Craig, and this is Iago. Details about everyone, and then they'll come back to like 5 minutes later and go, so Iago, how old is Just Call Me a Hen? Even though they just said it before. So we use that as kind of a practice game between ourselves. We all get together, tell some jokes, and play a game of I literally just told you. And as always, I try and make it more challenging than it really needs to be. That's really how it. Like the very first game we played, like I was playing along, but I was memorizing cards as well, and I inadvertently beat my personal best, which happy days, purely by accident. As well. So if you aren't a member of the network already, I encourage you to join. We might not be the most frequent posters in the world, but when we are, it's always worthwhile. It's always a challenge, or it's always a thought process, or it's always something along these lines that you can use to further enhance what it is you do within the world of people reading. There's people from all walks of life in there. We've got bloody doctors, we've got detectives, we've got PIs, we've got all manner of people, and me. I'm in there as well. And to the best of my knowledge, I'm the only person with a beard in there. So,
nicely done.
Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will.
Some sort of hidden clue.
Yeah. Just as a side note to sort of introduce how completely dorky I am, when I was in the bath before we started this stream, I was watching the Ben Affleck version of Daredevil. So I decided to learn. I decided to learn to read Braille.
Why not?
So like I can now read the kind of basic sentences in Braille, and it took me the time it takes to have a bath. So if anyone says they don't have time to do the kind of shit that they wanted to, you are liars and you are deluding yourselves. But I love you dearly for watching.
Now with the
just call me Hen has a beard. We are a duo. We can be beard twins. We could be like stunt doubles for each other. Go on, what were you going to say, mate? Costco, what was that?
The cost going up for showers, having showers now. You're going to be responsible for people standing in there for about half an hour trying to. Yeah. I'm learning Braille. What are you doing up there? I'm literally learning.
Can you imagine? Why are you taking such long showers? What are you doing? I'm learning Braille. Fuck off. What are you really doing in the shower? What are you doing?
Shower curtain, there's a desk, some books.
Well, my ice bath should be here on Monday. My actual legitimate inflatable ice bath. Yeah. And so it's better than the bin because apparently like people who are 6 foot can actually fit in it. Like I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm 6 foot, like on the nose, kind of 6 foot. But I think it would be fair to say I am quite wide as an individual. Just to give you an example, I have a 46.5-inch chest. So like I'm quite wide. I'm quite wide as a person. So that will be kind of remains to be seen whether I will fit in it or not. But the plan is, I initially started a TikTok channel to it's
that day and age.
God, it still pains me that I'm close to 40.
No, you mean 18, right? We never got past 21.
Mate, no. My son is close to 18. So the plan was, I initially started that to start posting riddles and kind of teasers and puzzles and whatnot to try and draw some people into the puzzle solving world because I bloody love them. But I thought it would be kind of interesting and whatnot to see if I could do them whilst in the ice bath. So I'm gonna share some when the ice bath arrives. I'm gonna do some book reviews from there as well of all of the books because I think over 2 podcasts we kind of showed that I bought I think it was about 603 books, maybe 604. Not sure. Which is not true. It's not true. There was a lot of books. That's all I'm saying. There was a lot of books. Just Call Me Hen. Do you like torturing yourself? Yeah.
This is where I feel like this would be perfectly answered when you disappear from the screen and I pull you. You remember that scene from, is it Pirates of the Caribbean 3 where they have Orlando Bloom like on it, like some sort of rack covered in leeches, just pull him out of a bog.
It's when Adam goes, musty. But yeah, like my philosophy towards training, just call me. I think I'm gonna I was gonna start calling everyone like Craig will be Miss Galvin, Miss Riffraff is still Miss Riffraff. Just Call Me Hen might be Miss Me Hen, because I think that would be funnier than Miss Hen. I don't know. But that was a side note. My kind of attitude towards training, briefly in a nutshell, is if it's working for me and like I'm finding success with it, I'll make it harder. Like I find new sort of ways to challenge myself, because with this being a cerebral skill set that we look to develop, it's quite easy to propose a different challenge towards that, So I'll like the first time I learned to memorize a deck of cards, I was like, I wonder if I could do it standing on my head. So I tried it standing on my head and whatnot. The first time I learned to solve a Rubik's Cube, I was like, I wonder if I could do this one-handed. It took me, I remember to this day, it took me 1 hour and 47 minutes to do it one-handed. But I did it. Yeah. And that's the kind of analysis of it.
Where I came from.
Yeah. We started with the water torturing things, and that was like, well, I can do Rubik's Cubes. I've got a pretty good memory. Like, I can solve puzzles and whatnot. What would make that hard?
Water.
You need to be upside down in water. Okay, let's do that.
And unable to breathe.
Yeah. Well, that was like the same kind of thing for the. I memorized. You might not remember. You might, but over lockdown, I did the memorizing 6 screens at the same time. I'm quite good at watching a scenario with multiple people, the whole super recognizer thing and all that kind of stuff. So like, well, that's okay now. I wonder if I can do it with 2 screens. Well, that's okay now. How about 3? Oh, that's pretty good. Screw it. I've got 6. Let's go for 6. Right? Let's see what happens. Genuinely, most of it comes back to my kind of affinity for Fight Club and the philosophies that came out of that film, like Miss Riffraff, the one chip challenge. Yeah, absolutely. The whole I memorize thing. We've not done one of them in a while, to be fair. That was pretty good. But that was another thing. Pressure memory tests are great. Memory tests are something that I know hundreds of people do. Yeah. I don't know anyone that does them in the way that I do. But that to me is the only way that I can think to challenge my memory outside of just trying to go faster or more. There's more things to add to a challenge.
There's nothing more fun when we're filming something like that and watching you just play. Basically, like you say, torture yourself. The one chip challenge for me, wasn't it? Well, the one chip challenge for me was an absolute delight, not because of the actual content itself of what he was managing to do, but because of what was happening to him.
Yeah. I was going to, for the people that have watched it, don't forget that was like maybe, I don't know, what was it, 10, 15 minute video? But for us, that was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
That was like 2 hours of me going, why am I just not have a normal job?
I remember just being there and being like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then suddenly you asked me a question. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we're doing something, aren't we? Like, I was happily just watching this occur.
You sadistic bastard. So yeah, guys, with that in mind, I'm going to love you and leave you. We've ranted on for far too long and kept you all far too long. Go about with your lives and then rejoin us again for the next post on Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your humour. Thanks for your interest. And we'll talk to you soon.